I am protected. I am love, and I am mother. And I wish all words I say a protective bubble around them. And may they reach the people who were meant to pop that bubble and be sprinkled with love and comfort and happiness, and also like, yeah, I'm not alone. I just have learned a lot of new things, but certain things have always been inside of me. I'm no longer working at that job. The last few videos I watched of myself, a lot of it had to do with working that job. I'm a African queer woman. I don't even want to go by Shelby anymore. We are the leaders of bringing this world to heal. We stand on Mother Earth right now. We come from mothers. The mother has been abused. The mother has been stepped on, spat on, erased, lied on. And I'm sick of the abuse in our culture. Because I now know the enemy. And when you know the enemy, it's scary. But you also learn the antithesis of the enemy, which is love, which is protection from the spirits, the ancestors, the opening of the third eye, the knowledge. I'm gonna eat this cookie. The chakras. The easiest way to learn about them is your root chakra, this and below. The sign that it relates to the most is Aquarius and Capricorn, stability, Saturn. Yeah. Sacral chakra, the one I'm pretty in tune with. Pisces and Sagittarius, Jupiter ruled. Your sacral chakra is here though, and it rules your emotions. The solar plexus, Mars, makes sense. Vitality, asserting yourself. The heart chakra, Taurus, Libra, Venus, love. The throat chakra, one I struggle with right now, as of recently. But I feel like I've always preferred to talk to no one. So the more people listening is like a lot for me sometimes, but throat chakra, communication, expressing yourself, even lack of listening is throat chakra stuff. You don't have control over your speech. Do you lie a lot? Creativity, motivation. Gemini, Virgo. Third eye, intuition. Cancer, Leo. Your bliss state. Some people think there's 13 signs. The craziest thing I've learned that everything, most of the stuff we've been taught is a lie. Or just not the full truth. I'm grappling with the self, my shadow self, that we all have shadow selves. I was actually an old psychologist and philosopher that agreed that every human has a shadow self. And I think it's partially in most religions as well. The idea of the shadow self, the idea that we have to work through, whether it's our tendency to sin, or it's intrusive thoughts, or it's whatever it is that we're ashamed of, childhood trauma, our wounds, our power, our ability to manipulate, those type of things that every human has that we have to work through in order to see the world clearly and not project. Some people are just naturally good at handling themselves in this world. Virgos, I think Virgos are really good at balancing that and being good into the world most times, regardless of what it is they're personally dealing with. Libras maybe too, if they're not doing their dark tendencies, but Capricorn as well. But there's some shadows that we all have to deal with, and there's also a lot of dark truths. And I think to sum it, it's a spiritual war that we're fighting. Some of us know, like ever since we were born and we were conscious that we were fighting, that we were fighting something even as a kid. That's because this energy, this plane, this earth, these things that we humans have to deal with, someone put them there and somebody messed with the messages we receive and what we perceive as reality, as truth. Ow, I'm like nervous because I killed a spider the other day, and I'm like, I have this like fear of spiders, so I'm like, what if it comes back and it's like, wow. But what I learned was that, well, we all come from Mother, as I said. We are taught and drilled Father God, Father God, Father God, Father God, Lord. But there's an imbalance there. When there's a Father God, there has to be a Mother. There's a mother. There's an original creator. Some say it's Lilith. Some say it's Sophia. Some say there's different variations of the divine feminine. It's nothing evil. It's nothing like that's not God. It's nothing that we should be afraid of. We've all been conditioned certain things to where you either are on one end of like, I don't believe there's anything out there that exists beyond humans and beyond aliens. There's no like spirit. There's no guidance. There's no higher being. Our higher beings are just ourselves when we unlock all of our chakras and we connect back with Source or God, whoever you want to call it, the collective consciousness, when we are at our highest vibrations as a mass, as a people. We can build beauty, we can build off of love and joy, but there's something literally stopping that. Like, this is where it gets so serious, and that I've discovered something so real. I think it's a combination of, if you've ever watched The Matrix, if you've ever, learned about hell, if you know what evil does, if you know what the almighty evil, the Satan, whatever, that's against humans, this darkness, this violence, where does that come from? And why does it feel like it's all around us and there's nothing we can do about it? Why have we accepted it for hundreds and hundreds of years? Not necessarily accept, but why have we lived under it? Why have we endured for this long? Well, we've been through lots of cycles as humans, but a main theme is that there is a hierarchical kind of power dynamic, and for a while at the top of that power structure, it has been this particular group of people for about like 6,000, maybe 5,000 years. White people haven't existed past 5,000, 6,000 years, maybe a little bit longer, as in like Neanderthals, but the white race is not. They came after. What I'm saying, Christopher Columbus, Israel, America. These are new things. Even Great Britain. There's been some issues with white people coming into this land. There's been some issues with even the ancient god Yahweh, who believes that power is to be taken away from something, and you can have a promised land or something that you're entitled to where you can kill a bunch of people and say this is my land. It's kind of the ancient patriarchal view of the world. It was how Lilith's creation was stolen from her, and there was this other plan for humans that they put forth in front of us, which was more patriarchal, more hierarchical, more let's enslave these people. Slavery didn't exist since the beginning of time. It didn't. That is a it's a specific people, and it's a specific mindset, and it's pretty evil, and it's really evil when there are children involved, when it's the subjugation of children, the sacrifice of children, the rape of children, is when you start to see connections in our world to prove that evil exists here. And if that we don't walk in and fight all of this together, it's up to us to build a world, to reach our highest frequencies, to do what we love and what we know is truth every day. And we fight for those who are enslaved. We fight for those who are kidnapped unjustly for the sake of an administration to make more money off of us through slavery, through fear, through violence. I think we have a right to be afraid. They've killed people who rallied the masses to go against evil. They've killed people who have figured things out and wanted to share that knowledge. I don't want to get too into the evil out there because I know there's good. And I know that when you know things that exist above and below our world, what we see every day, the physical and the non-physical, when you know both, I think I just want to highlight that I'm still learning what my purpose is in all of this. Honestly, what I know is that I had to quit that job, and I don't want my resources, my energy being sucked on by this force that, owns everything. I mean, we can get technical and look at all of the things that private equity right now is eating up. Emergency rooms, they're on the way to building corporate towns, and we're all just going to be in debt. And if we don't stop this cycle, if we don't stop the obvious wrong in this equation, if we don't change our lives, change ourselves, allow ourselves to be changed and open up to the new knowledge we're receiving about this world, and being able to see that there is a crossroads. We can choose to be in this system forever, or we can choose that other unknown but beautiful opposition, where we live based off of love and community, and we protect ourselves from those evil motherfuckers. We find solutions together to survive and save each other. I go out and I think about how I'm going to help a homeless person today. Bring food, bring cash, talk to people who have to spend their nights in the freezing cold every night. Research more about child sex trafficking. What can we do about these kids in the containers, these kids that are being smuggled through these tunnels? What are we doing about Israel's influence in America? What are we doing about these dark truths in the physical and in the non-physical realm? It's going to have to link together. It's a spiritual war, but things have to happen on the ground too. Protests, I feel like, are a segue to something beautiful when we get to connect as a collective conscious and fight for something and go against everything we've ever known, because I think what's at stake is our futures. I think what's at stake is, what kind of world do we want to build for children? You know, I know what kind of world I want to build for my children, for the children of this earth, for the children of the mother. What are we going to do for the Mother Earth? Because one thing about mother, if you've ever met a Cancer, there's a wrath. There's a wrath in every mother. There's a how dare you. There's a I put my foot down. You've abused me. You've crossed lines. If we all collectively had that, if we channeled that, it's amazing to me to fantasize what that looks like, because when you get into quantum physics and like science, and science is God, and everything exists because we exist, we are like the vibration of this universe. It exists in our minds, it exists through magic, it exists through our connections with the stars and the earth and our souls. I just know that science has never seen what can happen next. It happened eons ago, but we've turned into this where we live in boxes, and we pay for these boxes, and we go to these jobs to service rich people, and we give them taxes to service themselves, and cut off all of our social programs to which we could connect with each other and not have to buy their shit. Drink natural moving water. Water is spiritual, and they cut our connection with natural water. I know I sound crazy. How they are manipulating our food, feeding us shit. It's serious out here. It's serious. I'm not just bullshitting. I'm risking my fucking life to be on the right side of things. It is to be bold. It is to be knowing. It is to unlock all of your chakras and